Today we're going to be going over the 15 must-start players for Week 8. If you're new here, what we do is we go matchup by matchup, try and predict the game script, and then try and find that player who's the easy start from that game. Of course, not every game's going to have a must-start, but due to the rules, I got to pick a must-start from that game, and I'm also going to talk about a bunch of other players in that game as well. So overall, we're talking about 15 must-starts and probably about 30 to 40 other players. If you have a question about your lineup, drop it in the comments below. Hit that like button so it spreads the video around. And what you need to do, though, is hit that subscribe button. Stop missing out on these videos as we're going deep on the waiver wire. We're helping you set those lineups. We're helping you win those trades as well. Hit that subscribe button. Stop missing out. But let's look at the 15 must-starts from Week 8. Let's get it started here. First matchup we're looking at here, Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. We have a 43.5 over-under. So a smaller point total for this game. The spread is kind of thick here. This game could hit that over. I could see the Eagles doing that and the Commanders having to keep up. But it could also be ugly. I think it could go either way. I don't think it's going to be middle of the road. I think you're either going to get a nasty one or a high-paced one. The Eagles could definitely push that. I'm not trying to be wishy-washy. I'm trying to predict this. So my prediction is you're either going to get a nasty game because the Eagles are on the road, or the Eagles are able to break this one loose and you hit that over, or you're close to that point total. You're at 43, 45 points or something like that. I think nonetheless you're going to get some fantasy contributors. Looking at this, Terry McLaurin, I'm going to be starting him. 7.3 targets a game, 21% target share. In a game that could be nasty, you want to go off the studs. You want to go off the guys getting the high target share. You don't want to get too fancy with it. We're not going to be doing that. These teams can throw on each other a little bit. The Eagles allow a little bit in the passing game. That could allow Terry McLaurin to do some things. Run backs for the Eagles, your usual suspects. That's why they're good. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, DeAndre Swift. Those guys, yeah, they're going to be throwing the ball too. This might hit the over. This might be a sneaky game to create stacks for in DFS. Now we're looking at the Falcons at the Titans. 35 over-under. That's one of the lowest point totals we've seen this year. Vegas is saying this is nasty and stay away from it. Vegas is saying stay away from it. I don't even need to see the point total. I know that when I see these two teams booked, to stay away from it. It's going to be boring. That I'd rather watch grass grow. But I'm still going to watch it because I'm a masochist. But still, we got to pick somebody. We got to pick somebody. Drake London. In a nasty matchup, you go where the targets are flowing. You go to the alpha. You go to the guy who you know is going to get looks at least. 7 targets a game, 22.4% target share. Getting a good workload per game, 11.9 points per game in fantasy. Run backs. Really, there's not really. But again, the studs, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, your usual suspects for the Titans. I don't love this game. I don't think anybody's a super must start or anything like that. I got to pick somebody, but this one's going to be nasty. Jets at the Giants could be another nasty matchup. 36.5 over under. If the Jets want to do what they want to do defensively, they're going to stifle the Giants. But they've been looking a little better with Saquon back. Saquon has been the equalizer in a lot of their games lately. This could be a little bit decent to watch, or this could be interesting. Who knows? But I still expect it to be nasty. A nasty game. I don't know how many times I've said nasty, but these game scripts haven't been looking great. Looking at this, Garrett Wilson. I want to follow the targets. I want to follow the target share. 32.5% target share. That's elite. Of course, a must start. Breece Hall as well. Got him listed down there. Run backs. Saquon Barkley, of course. Darren Waller's dealing with a hammy. Check his status. Probably going to be in, though. Wando Robinson's been dealing with a knee issue. Check his status. But with them dealing with issues, and both of them, could it be a Darius Slayton game? We got to find out. It might not be nobody's game. But still, you got to be looking at some players. Someone's going to have to score some fantasy points in this contest. Follow the targets. Next, Houston Texans at the Carolina Panthers. 43.5 over under. This one could be a fun one with C.J. Stroud and company. He gets Tank Dell back. That's going to be fun. And the Panthers can move the ball themselves in some of these matchups. This could be interesting. This could be higher scoring than predicted. That being said, you can run on the Panthers a little bit. Dameon Pierce is going to get some action. He's going to get some opportunity. Devin Singletary as well, if you want to lump him in there. But we're going to be looking at Dameon Pierce, maybe some red zone looks. 64.1% opportunity share still. 8.6 PPR fantasy points per game. Tank Dell is back. Look for this passing game to keep humming. Just look for it to keep doing it. Look for CJ Stroud to keep dropping back. Run backs, Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, your usual suspects. For the Panthers, New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins, 46.5 over-under. You're starting your Dolphins. That's not a secret. We're starting our Dolphins. We got some injury issues. We got some hiccups, but more than likely, your guys are going to be on the field. The Patriots have to keep up. You know they're going to throw it a little bit. When they have to and when they're pressed, they're going to throw it. That means we're going to be looking at Kendrick Bourne because he's getting touches and targets. 7.3 targets a game, 20.9% target share, 77 air yards per game. In a matchup like this, where they gotta throw the football, that's going to be granting opportunities. Tyreek Hill should be in there. He stated that in the media, but he's dealing with an issue. Jalen Waddle, similar situation. Raheem Mostert, keep a bigger eye on him. Keep the news locked and loaded on Raheem Mostert. See if he's in the lineup. But still, start your Dolphins. Whoever's on the field for the Dolphins, start them. Kendrick Bourne's running routes. Don't really trust the Patriots, but you're going to have a guy or two do some things on the field to score fantasy points. LA Rams at the Cowboys, 45.5 over, under. And this game could break either way. That's what this says. The defenses could really slow it down, but we got firepower on both offenses where it could break open. That's something that we're just going to have to wait and find out on Sunday. That's why it's at a 45.5 over under, not at 50 and not at 40. That's why it's right in the middle. That's what that number's telling us. And again, when we look at this, Jake Ferguson, progression funnel. As the wide receivers are locked down, Jake Ferguson might get a couple extra targets. He's getting about 5 a game, 15% target share, which is okay for a tight end. He gets a lot of red zone looks. Cowboys are going to be in the red zone a few times in this game. Look for him to get some opportunities. Run backs, we know it. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. Check your favorite running back. Pay attention to Darrell Henderson in the news because he was put back on the practice squad. See if he gets elevated back up. Now we're looking at Jacksonville Jaguars at the Pittsburgh Steelers. 41 over under. And that's kind of low. The Jaguars could throw in the Steelers. The Steelers could surprise you. They're up and down some games, but they're a surprising team. That's just who they are. I can see this one hit the over. This one could be lower than that, but I doubt it. I think this one could hit the over. Jaguars on the road, which with the Steelers at home, that might give them enough advantage to really push the game script a little bit. I expect some points to be scored in a fantasy sense here. That being said, Calvin Ridley, you can throw in the Steelers. They're averaging 42.2 PPR fantasy points per game to wide receivers. Ridley still getting opportunity with 6.9 targets per game and a 20% target share, 11 fantasy points per game. Look for him to get something. Look for him to get on the right track. He's had 2 down games in a row. Look for him to get it back here. Run backs here. George Pickens, he's got that dog in him. He's going to be getting targets. And then you can run on the Jaguars a little bit. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, pick your poison there. Now we're looking at the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers, 42 over under. And the thing about this is the Packers like to throw the ball. They're fast-paced. And if they can do what they want to, even if it's at a losing front, that over could hit, and it could be a little bit higher scoring. It could be true at the 42 points. I wouldn't expect it to be like 30, 35 on the lower end. It could be true to that. And the Packers got some weapons. This could be a nastier game on the good level for us where they're just scoring points. I could definitely see that. I don't see it going too slow. I expect some fire here. I could see some fire. Let's look at Jaden Reed. When Christian Watson's out, he's getting more targets. He's getting more opportunity. He's getting 6.67 targets per game. He's getting more receiving yards. Everything doubles up almost. Everything doubles up for Reed, and that's a good thing to see. Luke Musgrave as well, because Watson's out. More targets are going to be available. Same with Romeo Doubs. Really, one of these guys are going to hit. You don't know which one, but you're kind of wanting all of them. Maybe 2 of them hits, but one of them is going to be left out. 2 of them is going to hit. That's what I think. Run backs, Jordan Addison. He's got that dog in him, that first-round wide receiver. We saw him last week. He's going to continue to do so. He's developing. He's growing. He's going to only get better. Saints at Colts, 44 over under, and I feel like this is going to be true to form to that prediction on the point total, but I could definitely see this hitting the over as well. But the Saints can slow it down too, so it could go either way, so I can understand why it's right in the middle. The Colts are pushing the ball a little bit quicker with Minshew. The Saints can throw it deep if they're pushed to do so. So really it depends how this game starts off, but they got the spread tight because I can kind of understand how the game could flow that way where it's going to be tight down the line. That being said, Chris Olave, he's got to get right after the rest. After saying he's with the Saints to the cop and he did not care, he's got to get right. Plus, he's getting a lot of targets. Plus, there's a lot of ups and downs in this matchup. 10 targets a game, 26% target share, 125 air yards a game. Of course, you're starting him. Run backs: Jonathan Taylor, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, your usual guys for the Colts. Nothing outlandish here because these are must starts. These are the easy starts, the easy calls to make. I look for this game to be back and forth. I look for us to see some fantasy contributors from this matchup. Browns at the Seahawks, 38 over under. That Browns defense is going to make this one a hard game to call, hard game on the Seattle end. And then the quarterback situation for the Browns makes this game hard to predict, kind of nasty to watch. Might be an ugly one, as the Browns are on the road as well with some bad quarterback play, with their tough defense. DK Metcalf, deep targets, 88 air yards a game, 7 targets a game, and really we're funneling to our studs. There's really not a must start in this game. Like, I'm not running to start a guy from this game. I'm not running to my lineups and be like, yes, Browns, Seahawks, yes. Run backs, nah. I mean, Mari Cooper, targets. Elijah Moore, targets. I mean, if you're getting volume, something's going to happen. Somebody's got to do something. That's the way you got to look at it on these ugly games. But still, it's not a must. Nobody's a must here. Now we're looking at the Ravens at the Cardinals. 44.5 over under. The thing about the Cardinals is they can get gritty and they can score points, or they can get gritty and not score points. Same thing with the Ravens. They can slow it down, and we saw it last week. They can kick it up a notch. 44.5 over under. Sometimes when they say that, they think it's going to be right in the middle. They don't think it's going to go crazy scoring or low scoring. I think they just don't know. That being said, Zay Flowers, we're going to follow the touches here. 27.4% target share, 7.7 targets per game. Really just making it easy. Marquise Brown on the run back because he's getting those deep targets. And you know what? We're going to keep it easy on an ugly game. Now we're looking at the Bengals and Niners, another ugly one to predict here. Niners defense, Bengals defense, but we have some hosses to go on. And we got to do a troll, because we got to troll those guys who just fast forward, see the pictures, and then they comment. So we're always going to have Christian McCaffrey there as the must start. That way, we troll those people. Brandon Ayuk, of course, because he's getting the targets and a nasty game script. You just start your top guys. Run backs, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Top guys, you just roll with it. Keep it easy when the game script's nasty. Now looking at Chiefs at the Broncos. 46 over under. This one could be a fun one. The Broncos did not do so hot against the Chiefs last time, only scoring 9 points if I remember correctly. 46 over under. Spread's kind of loose here. However, they're home now. They got to correct some things. Maybe they get you 16 points. Maybe they get you 20. That doesn't sound sexy, does it? That doesn't sound great. But maybe the Chiefs go off. That being said, Isaiah Pacheco, you can run on the Broncos. You can run on them all day. Look for this to be a Pacheco day. Cortland Sutton, deep targets, red zone targets. Look at him if you're hurting, and he's a splash week guy. He gets you the air yards, the touchdown looks. And you know what? He's a little bit more consistent on the splash weeks too. So look at him. Now we're looking at the Bears at the Chargers. 46.5 over under. Very interesting matchup as the game scripts for these teams from week in and week out go either way. That being said, Austin Eckler, this is a get-right game because you got a defense you can run on. He's going to be using the passing game. Don't really want to talk about him too much because he's easy. Run backs, DJ Moore. You can throw on the Chargers. You can throw on them even though the quarterback play is sus. Deontay Foreman, Roshan Johnson. You can move the ball on the Chargers. This could be a sneaky game to make stacks for in DFS. That's my main take here. Now we're looking at the Raiders at the Detroit Lions. 46 over under, right in the middle there, because this could be high scoring. It could be low scoring. You can see it either way. If the defenses can get their way, it could be like that. That being said, Jahmyr Gibbs breakout might be coming. Raiders 6th in the league, allowing fantasy points to running backs. Of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown, hands down, of course. Run backs, your usual guys. Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers. Again, must starts, easy starts, of course. We're looking through the games. We're looking through the game scripts. Look for this game to score more than expected when you think about this. Both teams can move the ball. Both teams can shut it down a little bit, but they're more likely going to be moving the ball. That's what I'm thinking here. Jahmyr Gibbs should have another breakout game, and Amon-Ra St. Brown should do his thing. The wide receivers on the Raiders should run it back pretty nice. Should get some firepower here. Those are the 15 must-starts from Week 8. Let me know in the comments below any lineup questions you have. Just drop it down there. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out, and I'll catch you on the next video.